All right, the Auburn Tigers, a heartbreaking loss again, losing to the Missouri Tigers in overtime. This went to overtime, 17-all. The Missouri Tigers scored a touchdown to go up 23-17, went for two, did not make it. Then it was up to Auburn to punch it in and try to win this thing, and they went 4 and out. So Auburn has lost 4 games in a row now, and they lose the Battle of the Tigers to the Missouri Tigers. And Hugh Freeze still battling for his job. You heard his press conference right here on ABC 3340. Let's bring in Johnny Congdon, who covered that game for you tonight. And Johnny, your one big takeaway from what you saw tonight.
Yeah, deja vu, Jeff. Another Saturday night down the Plains, another excruciating loss for Hugh Freeze's Auburn Tigers and their fans. As tonight, it's Eli Drinkwitz and the Missouri Tigers that come down the Plains and beat the Auburn Tigers in 2 overtimes, 23-17. And Jeff, name of the game is opportunities squandered yet again. Missouri, at the end of regulation, were driving, had an opportunity to kick a game-winning walk-off field goal, and took a sack, took a 5-yard false start, and then threw an interception. So Auburn had a stay of execution. They get to overtime. Missouri and Auburn, they both go down and they get field goals. And then in the second overtime, it was the Auburn Tigers who allowed a touchdown. That's okay. They stopped Missouri for a 2-point conversion. So Auburn, all they needed to do was score and get a 2-point conversion, and they would have had their first SEC win of the season. And Jeff, that was simply not the case. They go 4 and out. Jackson Arnold sacked on the final play of the game, and the atmosphere inside this building once again sunk. Jeff, post-game, we talked to Hugh Freeze, and in the second question of the presser, I had an opportunity to ask him why fans, alumni, and people who are passionate about this football program should still have faith that he and his staff are the people to lead this program in the right direction. And he gave a long answer, basically said that he's been called by God for this assignment, saying that he's going to have the wherewithal to stand in and buckle his knees and make sure that he continues to show up to work on Monday and do the job he was hired to do. How much longer he'll have the opportunity to be the head coach of this proud university, that's still very much up in the air. There's some numbers here I have from our friend John Talty. He's a national sports writer for CBS Sports, and it just glanced over my X timeline. I just want to read some numbers to you, Jeff. Through 32 games here at Auburn, Hugh Freeze is now 14-18 overall. He's a porous 5-15 in the SEC. 14 games where the offense scored 20 or fewer points. Keep in mind, he was hired as an offensive guru. His offenses have performed his entire career, whether that be in Ole Miss, Arkansas State, most recently at Liberty. They have not gotten the job done at Auburn. They now have as many top 25 wins as UAB interim head coach Alex Mortensen, who coached his first game today, Jeff. I can't put into words the excruciating nature for these fans. And again, when I'm watching the end of these games, I am in the student section, and they can't believe it. They keep showing up week after week. They keep coming early. They do the Tiger Walk. They're loud, they're passionate, they're rowdy. And week after week, they continue to get their heart ripped out, Jeff. They're truly living like this pre-2004 Red Sox nightmare. That's the only analogy I can think of it. And Hugh Freeze walked off the field at Jordan here perhaps for the last time. We'll have to see come Sunday and Monday, but there's no question 0-4 in the SEC for a 3rd consecutive season is not going to get it done, and I just don't know how much longer these fans in this university is going to settle for this lack of production from their head football coach and from their football team overall.
Yeah, we certainly are in this culture where schools are making changes in mid-season, and it's I don't know, Sunday, Monday they got to go to Arkansas, and Arkansas is playing, with a lot of spirit and a lot of effort. And one thing about Auburn that I've noticed is that they just can't get everyone on the same page. I mean, Arnold completes a pass. It looks like a great pass to Cam Coleman, but there's a drop there.
Jeff, you talk about confusion. There's been confusion since Hugh Freeze stepped on campus in the sense of let's just talk about play calling. In the offseason, he says, well, on first down, there's one play caller, and then on second and third down, there's another play caller, and come fourth down, maybe I'll call the plays, maybe sometimes it's Nick's, maybe there's just too many balls up in the air. And Jeff, after the game, we're typically used to seeing Hugh Freeze, and right next to him is his quarterback, Jackson Arnold. Not the case today. Jackson Arnold did not answer questions post-game after this loss. And Jeff, the first thing I thought of is Peyton Thorne's been the quarterback at Auburn for the last 2 years. Coach's kid took a lot of bad losses, similar losses like Auburn's experienced this year. Game after game, loss after loss, Peyton Thorne sat in that media room and took questions from reporters week after week after week. Jackson Arnold did not answer questions tonight. I don't know if he didn't want to speak. I'm not putting it completely on him. I'm saying as the leader of this team, as the quarterback of a program like Auburn, you have a responsibility, not just to your team, but to your fan base, to face the music when things don't go your way. Freeze was asked post-game if he considered making a change at the quarterback position in-game. He did say he considered it, and he left the door open to a potential change come Monday. And Jeff, as you just mentioned, don't look at Arkansas's record. Arkansas is playing spirited football. They took Tennessee to the wire last week. They nearly upset Texas A&M today. This is no cupcake. We don't know who the head coach is going to be, but I'll tell you what, if they go to Fayetteville and think they're going to be in for a swan song, I'll tell you what, it's not going to be easy. The Fayetteville crowd gets up for these games. And again, Jeff, the last thing I'll say, and I'll stop waxing poetic here, is right after the game ended, I mean, the second the game was over, the big jumbotrons that are massive instantly switched over. I don't know if Tyler, our photographer, could show you right now. It says next up, versus Kentucky, November 1st. The second the game was over, Jeff, both giant screens flashed to that, and it was a sobering reminder that they'll have to wait a few weeks before they're back in this building, and I'm just not sure they're head coaches, Jeff. But for the final time, from inside Jordan Hare Stadium in Auburn, I'm Johnny Congdon, ABC 3340 Sports.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your coverage there.